present practice. Was conscious. This is Vish, and today I will be trying to answer and share what I've experienced about the topic of, does everything really get better? It's a statement that's used so often. This will get better. Everything gets better. Similar phrases such as time is the healing factor. Time will heal. Everything is better, or everything gets better, right? That's what we're here to talk about. Does everything really get better? Let's reframe that, and I'm pretty big on words, just like you've probably seen Sadhgurus as well, at least in certain examples. And the reason I think that words are so important in terms of what we say is because when we say certain things, we're actually just sharing the subconscious level of programming that has happened from society that's been imprinted on us. And then when we say certain things, we are actually, to a certain extent, and this is where it can come off as maybe woo-woo, but attracting or manifesting, and these are words that are thrown out quite often, especially in the New Age spiritual communities or just young people's, but you are to a certain extent manifesting, creating that. So that's why I always like to start these videos off with breaking down the words of the phrase, right? So everything gets better. I just made a video, and you've maybe seen it, maybe you haven't. If you haven't, check it out in the channel, obviously. What does everything mean? I'll keep it relatively brief here because I just made this video, but essentially everything. And actually, before I do this, I would love to hear what you think about this statement right now. Before we even continue, I would love to hear what you think about this statement. Everything will get better. In the comments down below. Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? And then why? Would love to hear. Yeah. But now, and actually before I continue again, and then at the end of the video, if you've had a different shift in terms of your views, experiences, still disagree, or maybe disagree with something new, or agree with certain points, I don't care. I'm all for open discussion, open talk. I value that very much. I don't have to agree with you, but I won't censor you, at least. Yeah. So the point is, would love to hear your views after watching this video, at the end. So, also, if you want to hit, I really haven't done this before, so I'm just going to briefly say it now, and maybe it'll help the channel. But if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up button, that would really help the channel. It really helps with the algorithm pumping, and so, yeah, just side note. But anyways, let's break that down, right? Everything. What does that mean? Everything is all of physicality. All of physicality is obviously the things that we see around us, feel, hear, of the five senses. But now, in addition to that, there are thoughts, there are emotions. Are these physical nature? Well, emotions, I think they are. Definitely science can back it up, right, with hormones and certain things like that. Thoughts, I think that can be a bit more controversial. However, with the level of awareness that I have and the experiences I've had, I think thoughts are physical nature because I can experience them physically, meaning I can see them, not see them with my eyes, but I come face to face with them during meditations, for example, or even just when I'm meditative. So, when you say everything is going to be okay, or everything gets better, similar statements, right? Point of that is, you're making the assumption that you really have experienced and know of everything. But what you're really just saying is, the thoughts in my head will get better. That's literally what you're actually saying. But you're instead saying everything as in all of the universe will get better. What does that mean? Like, let's be real here. Let's be honest. Not to come off as brutal, but I come off as honest, and I want to make that clear. And here's the key. You're important, but you're not significant. You're truly an insignificant piece of the planet. You're still important, emphasizing that, but you're insignificant. And what do I mean by that? Well, it's not better from Sadhguru, so shout out to him. But if you think about it, if you just look around, I mean, the Earth that we live on, if you take a step out, the solar system, Milky Way, whatever, universe, and you keep going, right? And you break that into smaller and smaller pieces as you zoom in and zoom into the Earth, the country, the city, town, neighborhood, house, this body. And then your thoughts, even smaller, right? If you think about it, really means not much. It's such an insignificant physical, at least comparison-wise, means not much. But your mind will make it a big deal and say that is everything. So like you're having a rough time in life, right? Things are not going your way. Well, that's all, again, from a perspective. And when you're saying that means your thoughts and the stories that you're telling yourself in your mind are maybe of quote-unquote negative in nature. But do your thoughts truly represent everything? No. I try to refrain from making conclusive statements, but I think this is a decent one to make, which is that your thoughts truly don't represent everything. Hopefully, y'all can agree with that. And if you don't, comment down below, and I'd love to hear why. But your thoughts don't mean everything. It's such a small, can't even say percent, It's like, or as in, I don't know if I can even calculate it with the numbers that we know with, right? It's so small. Point is, you're saying that everything will get better because of your psychological drama, which represents... Point is, I really don't think it's a conscious statement at all, to be honest. I mean, so right off the back, you saying everything gets better or everything... what was it? Everything happens for... No, everything gets better and then... Yeah, everything will get better. Let's just keep it at that, right? Everything gets better. There's no point even going further into the phrase, but let's just do it just to break that down as well, right? So clearly you saying everything is not... Essentially when you say it, another quick thing on here, another quick point about that word, you are over-glorifying, giving so much importance to your thoughts and the negative stories that you tell yourself. And you glorify to everything. But as I just mentioned, it's not really everything. So to say that everything will get better, everything is just the way it is. Your thoughts might get better, it might not get better, but that's in your control at the end. Point is, when you say everything to such a small thing, you're logically at this point, think about it, giving it a bigger value than it really has. Let's stop there. Now, everything will get better. Will, maybe this is a play on words, but will implies future, and the moment you're attributing how you feel in this present moment to the future, you're just in for a recipe for disaster. I mean, Eckhart Tolle is a beautiful example about this. Not that the future doesn't matter, it just doesn't exist. It's as simple as that. You can always plan for the future, quote unquote, in the now, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with planning. But will, I'm not saying you shouldn't use the word will, but in this phrase, when you're trying to attribute, again, how you feel in this present moment to the will, to the future, you're, again, it's just procrastination, I guess. You're pushing your ability to be happy or to be at peace or at joy, ecstasy, further away, and you're never going to experience it because the future never happens. So that's the reason I wouldn't say will. Now, get better. Get is to become, so at least that means to me. So now you're saying that everything, as in all of the universe, in the future, which is will become, which is get, better. What does better mean? What does it mean? Comment down below. Take a pause here. I'm curious. Better. To me, it means become more of what I want it to become. So, for instance, it really comes down to perspective, right? But for someone to gain weight, they are technically getting in better health if they are, let's just say, malnourished or anorexic. If someone's obese and they're losing weight, for them, they're getting in better health because they are losing the weight, and they're getting closer to the optimal. In both cases, it's not about gaining or losing the weight that's the better. It's them wanting to become something that they're not. So better really just translates to I want to become something that I'm currently not. That's where I'll be cautious about this too, and try to be as conscious as possible with using the word, better. Because when you translate the whole phrase, everything will get better, you're literally saying all of the universe in the future will become more of the way I want it to be. Take a second and just reflect on that. Everything in the universe will become more of the way I want it to be. Look at that. That shows the ego. Simple as that. That's the ego talking right there. And all the words are needed for this. It's your ego talking. You essentially, when you translate that statement and you reflect on what it really means, you are essentially putting yourself in the center of the universe and quote unquote being God and saying that everything will be more the way you want it to be. Do you really control the whole universe? I don't think so, and I don't either. At least I don't right now. So the point is, be conscious, or I was going to say cautious, but be conscious about what you say and why you say it. Reflect more on it. We tend to use words and phrases so unconsciously because it's the result of the societal or external imprints on us that we start believing things that aren't even true. And that's why I'm here, hopefully, to help spread some awareness to being more aware. Now, I do see this one side, which is that, it can be said to, if someone's truly in a low spot and not doing too great, and you tell them that, maybe it'll give them some hope. So maybe hope is hope a good thing or a bad thing? No clue. That'll make another video about, maybe. But the point is, I can see it giving hope, which could temporarily help someone. But when they truly start to believe in everything gets better, they don't do anything about anything, but they just believe in that statement, that's where I think you're in for a recipe for disaster, potentially. But who am I? I'm not enlightened. I'm not God. I'm just a YouTube yogi. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you taking this time, hearing the views that I have. And if you've made it this far, again, like I said earlier, would love to hear what you think about that statement. Does everything really get better? And yeah, I could even make another video about this, maybe get a bit deeper into the actual meaning of the phrase versus the words that make up the phrase. And if you want to hear more about that, comment down below. But if not, comment down any other video topics that you have in the comments down below as well. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And make a great day. Take it joyfully. Stay conscious, and ecstasy.